The Azov International Battalion reported what it described as its most intense 24-hour period of combat operations this year, as fighting escalated sharply along a contested sector of the Eastern Front. According to statements released by Ukrainian military officials, the battalion, operating as part of Ukraine's National Guard structure, was engaged in sustained defensive and counteroffensive actions amid heavy artillery exchanges, drone strikes, and close-quarters urban combat. The surge in violence reportedly began before dawn, when opposing forces launched coordinated artillery barrages targeting fortified positions and supply routes. Surveillance drones were said to have played a significant role, directing fire and identifying troop movements throughout the day. Military sources indicated that the fighting extended into nearby industrial zones and partially destroyed residential areas, where both sides attempted to gain tactical advantages in high-ground positions and reinforced structures. While precise casualty figures have not been independently verified, Ukrainian officials acknowledged significant losses on both sides. Medical evacuation teams were reportedly deployed repeatedly under fire to extract wounded personnel. Analysts note that the 24-hour clash underscores the evolving nature of the conflict, where drone reconnaissance and precision-guided munitions increasingly shape battlefield outcomes. Footage circulating on social media appears to show extensive structural damage, though verification remains ongoing. Urban environments continue to present unique challenges. Tight corridors, underground passageways, and damaged infrastructure complicate both offensive advances and defensive maneuvers. Military observers say such conditions often lead to prolonged engagements and higher casualty rates. The area of engagement is considered strategically significant due to its proximity to transportation corridors and logistical hubs. Control of the sector could influence supply chains and future operational momentum. Defense analysts caution that short-term tactical gains may come at a high cost in manpower and equipment, particularly when engagements intensify within confined urban settings. The Azov unit, which has drawn international attention in past years due to controversy surrounding its origins and political associations, now operates formally within Ukraine's military command structure. Ukrainian authorities maintain that all units are subject to centralized oversight and regulation. As the broader conflict continues, observers suggest that episodes of concentrated, high-intensity fighting may become more frequent, particularly as both sides seek leverage ahead of potential diplomatic or seasonal shifts in operations. In the Pokrovsk sector, Ukrainian forces repelled a large-scale Russian breakthrough attempt by mobile assault groups, with 2 days of fierce fighting ending in the complete defeat of Moscow's troops. Ukraine's Joint Forces Group said on Telegram Monday, February 9th, that aerial reconnaissance by the Spartan unit detected Russian movements in time, allowing Ukrainian units to strike and disrupt the offensive. As a result, an entire Russian assault company and military equipment were destroyed. A company in Russia typically ranges from 45 to 360 personnel, depending on unit type, making its loss a significant tactical blow, especially during assault operations. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian serviceman who runs the Telegram channel Military reported on Monday, February 9th, that Russian troops in the Pokrovsk direction are whining about 3 things that are indicative of the front. In particular, he said, Russian forces are suffering heavy losses from frostbite. Logistics are a minimal level, and the Dobli have been sitting in dugouts for weeks. Frequent amputations among the enemy, often without evacuation, he wrote. He added that Russian troops also complain about a lack of body armor, with Ukrainian forces repeatedly observing assaults carried out without protective gear. What the complain about the most is losses. The last Russian reported that out of 40 people in his group, 7 remained alive, Military wrote. He said Russian units are no longer able to conduct assaults as actively as they did 3 months ago, though Ukraine continues to face a critical shortage of personnel. Even with losses on average 1 to 10, the personnel ratio is 1 to 5 to 6. That is, if we have 10 soldiers, they have 60. The Russians really don't pull off such assaults, but unfortunately we don't have replenishment, especially not any high-quality ones, he wrote. Despite this, Ukrainian forces have achieved tactical successes in recent days, not only repelling attacks, but also regaining control of settlements. Ukraine has cleared the village of Ternuvate in the Zaporizhia region, according to Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation. He posted a video showing Ukrainian soldiers holding the national flag near a village entry sign. Russians sometimes post their so-called victories for an hour. We are in Ternuvate and doing our job. Ternuvate is ours, Ukrainian, one soldier said in the video, urging Russian troops to surrender. Russian forces had previously claimed to have captured the village in late January. Ukrainian officials later confirmed that a Russian sabotage group had briefly infiltrated Ternuvate under the cover of bad weather. At the time, Ukrainian forces conducted reconnaissance and search operations and cleared the settlement, eliminating one Russian group and taking another prisoner. In a separate operation, Ukrainian troops also expelled Russian forces from Chuhunivka in the Kharkiv region, about 500 meters from the Russian border. To the south of the village lies a gray zone, an area of active fighting with uncertain control, beyond which are Russian-occupied territories. According to the 16th Army Corps, Russian soldiers attempted to slip through Ukrainian defenses during poor weather, but were detected by reconnaissance drones. The Shkval Specialized Rifle Company was deployed to clear the village, with some Russian troops surrendering during the clash. The settlement is under the control of the defense forces of Ukraine, the Corps said, adding that Ukrainian flags have been raised in Chuhunivka. About a quarter of frontline clashes are initiated by Ukrainian forces. AFU Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky said last week, adding that Kyiv is actively conducting offensive and counteroffensive operations to keep Russian troops under pressure. Syrsky said Russian forces achieved no major operational gains in January. In 2025, Ukrainian troops carried out 3 offensive operations, 2 in Russia's Belgorod and Kursk regions, and 1 in the Dobropilya sector, disrupting Moscow's plans to seize Donetsk and establish buffer zones. He added that Russia currently has about 711,000 to 712,000 troops in Ukraine, a figure stable for 6 months, despite meeting recruitment targets. Daily Russian losses average 1,000 to 1,100 personnel, he said. Syrskyi warned Moscow's strategic goal remains the capture of all Ukraine, with Russia planning to mobilize about 409,000 troops in 2026 and form at least 11 new divisions.
Там, блядь, места нет. Выйдите, породите, скажите, туда не зайдешь. Отход, отход.